Frequency of Power. Episode 2, Awakening. Zara sat in her car on the side of the mountain road, staring at her hands like they belonged to someone else. The blue glow had faded to a faint shimmer, visible only when she moved her fingers through the darkness. Her phone lay silent in the passenger seat. The mysterious woman hadn't called back, and Zara wasn't sure if she was relieved or terrified by that fact. "Conductor," she whispered to herself. "What the hell is a conductor?" Her music theory background supplied an immediate answer, someone who directs an orchestra, who brings different instruments together in harmony. But that wasn't what the woman had meant. This was something else, something supernatural. The radio crackled back to life, making her jump. But instead of the voices from before, it was just static. Normal, boring static. Zara took a shaky breath and started the car. She needed to get back to Atlanta, back to her life, back to normal. Whatever the hell normal meant now. The drive back felt longer than it should have. Every time she glanced at her hands on the steering wheel, she half expected them to start glowing again. But they stayed stubbornly normal. It was almost 4 a.m. when she finally pulled into her building's parking garage. The penthouse had never looked so welcoming. She just wanted to sleep, to pretend the last 24 hours hadn't happened. But as the elevator doors opened on her floor, Zara froze. Her apartment door was open, not broken, not forced, just open, like someone had walked right in. Every instinct screamed at her to call 911. But something else, some new awareness she couldn't quite name, told her this wasn't a normal break-in. Zara pulled out her phone, finger hovering over Kai's number. But what would she say? "Hey, my apartment's full of supernatural beings and I think I'm glowing?" She could feel them, multiple presences inside her apartment, not threatening, but definitely not human either. Instead, she took a breath, straightened her shoulders, and walked in. Her living room looked like a supernatural convention had taken up residence. A woman who appeared to be in her 60s sat on Zara's couch, sipping tea like she owned the place. Her silver hair was pulled back in an elegant bun, and her dark skin seemed to shimmer slightly in the low light. She wore flowing fabrics in deep purples and blues. Standing by the window was a man who couldn't have been more than 30, with pale skin, sharp features, and eyes that reflected light like a cat's. He was dressed entirely in black, his posture radiating controlled danger. And actually perched on the back of Zara's favorite chair, was a young woman with auburn hair that seemed to move on its own, like it was underwater. Her ears came to subtle points, and when she smiled, her teeth were just a little too sharp. "Ms. Williams," the older woman said, setting down her tea. "I'm Dr. Amelia Cross. We spoke on the phone. I apologize for the dramatic entrance, but time is rather crucial." Zara closed the door behind her, proud that her voice came out steady. "You broke into my apartment. Technically, your building's security spells are designed to keep out hostile entities. We mean you no harm, so the wards let us pass." Dr. Cross gestured to the others. "This is Kieran, from the Night Court, and Sage, who represents the Wild Fae." "Charmed," said the cat-eyed man with an accent Zara couldn't place. "You're way more interesting than we expected," Sage added, her voice like wind chimes. Zara stayed by the door, her hand still on the knob. "I don't know what you people want, but—" "We want to help you not die," Dr. Cross interrupted calmly. "The people hunting conductors? They know about the rejection. They know you're vulnerable, and they're already in Atlanta." That made Zara pause. "What people?" "The Syndicate," Kieran said, his voice smooth as silk and twice as dangerous. "A coalition of supernatural beings who believe conductors are too powerful to exist. They've been systematically eliminating your kind for the last century. My kind? Zara laughed, but there was no humor in it. I don't even know what I am. Then let us show you. Dr. Cross stood, moving with surprising grace for her apparent age. You've been unconsciously using your gift your entire life. That's why your music affects people so deeply. You're not just creating sound, you're manipulating supernatural frequencies. That's insane. Is it? Sage tilted her head. How many times have your tracks made people cry without knowing why? How many artists have said working with you changed their life? How many times have you felt like you could hear things others couldn't? Zara wanted to deny it, but memories flooded back. The way clients always seemed calmer after sessions in her studio. The way certain songs she produced went viral for no logical reason. The way she could always tell when someone was lying, like their voice carried a different frequency than their words. Even if that's true, Zara said slowly, I'm not interested in whatever supernatural politics you're involved in. I left that world behind. The world hasn't left you behind, Kieran pointed out. Your rejection from Alpha Stone was felt across supernatural channels. Every major power player knows about you now. The only question is who reaches you first, us or the Syndicate. Why do you even care? Because conductors are bridges, Dr. Cross said. You can harmonize different supernatural species, help us work together instead of constantly warring. The last great conductor prevented a supernatural civil war that would have exposed us all to humanity. Without conductors, our world is fracturing. Species that should be allies are enemies. The balance is breaking. Zara crossed her arms. So you want to use me? We want to train you, Dr. Cross corrected. Help you control your gift before it controls you, or before someone else does. And if I say no? The three exchanged glances. Then you'll be dead within a week, Sage said matter-of-factly. The Syndicate doesn't take chances. They'll either kill you or bind your powers so completely you'll wish you were dead. Comforting. We're not here to comfort you, Kieran said. We're here to keep you alive. Zara walked to her windows, looking out at the Atlanta skyline. Just 12 hours ago, her biggest concern was a Sony deadline. Now she was apparently some kind of supernatural bridge with people hunting her. What about my pack? She asked quietly. The rogue attacks, are those connected? Dr. Cross nodded gravely. The Syndicate is using rogues to destabilize packs, create chaos. They knew you'd come home for the succession ceremony. They were hoping to capture you there. But I left, and now they're tracking you here. The rejection bond left a supernatural signature they can follow. It's only a matter of time. Zara's hands clenched into fists. So I led them away from the pack and straight to Atlanta, to Tiana, to everyone I care about here. You didn't know, Sage said gently, her playful demeanor dropping. None of this is your fault. Doesn't matter whose fault it is. Zara turned back to face them. What matters is fixing it. So what do I need to do? Dr. Cross smiled. First, we need to teach you to control your gift. Right now, you're broadcasting your location to anyone sensitive enough to feel it. You're like a beacon. How do I stop? You don't stop, you shield. The older woman pulled out what looked like a tuning fork from her bag. But before we can teach you to shield, you need to understand what you're shielding. Kieran, if you would. The vampire, because of course he was a vampire, Zara thought, pulled out his phone and played a simple tone. Just a single note. What do you hear? Dr. Cross asked. A note, C sharp, I think. What else? Zara listened harder, and then she heard it. Underneath the main tone, there were other sounds. Harmonics, yes, but also something else. Colors, almost. Textures, emotions. I hear layers, she said slowly. The note, but also what it means, what it feels like. Exactly. Dr. Cross touched the tuning fork and it rang out. Every supernatural being operates on a different frequency. Werewolves are here. She adjusted the fork. Vampires here, fae here, witches here, humans here. You can hear them all because you exist between them. That's why I could never shift, Zara breathed. I'm not a failed werewolf. I'm something else entirely. Your father was a werewolf. Your mother was human. But somewhere in your bloodline, there was also a witch. The combination created something rare, a conductor. Dr. Cross set down the tuning fork. You were never meant to be just one thing, Zara. You were meant to be the bridge between all things. Tears pricked Zara's eyes. 24 years of feeling broken, and it turned out she'd been whole all along. Just whole in a way no one understood. Okay, she said, wiping her eyes. Teach me, but I have conditions. Name them, Kieran said. 1. I'm not leaving Atlanta. My business is here. My life is here. Whatever training we do it here. Agreed, Dr. Cross said. 2. You help me protect the people I care about. Tiana, my clients, anyone the Syndicate might target to get to me. Already arranged, Sage said. We've placed wards on your building and your studio. Your assistant has a protection charm she doesn't know about. Anyone connected to you is being monitored. 3. When I'm strong enough, we help my pack. I don't care that they rejected me. I'm not letting innocent people die because of Syndicate games. The three exchanged looks again. That one's more complicated, Dr. Cross said carefully. Your former pack's alpha rejected you. He made his choice. Getting involved in pack politics is non-negotiable, Zara interrupted. Those are my terms. Take them or leave. A slow smile spread across Kieran's face. I like her. As do I, Sage agreed. Dr. Cross studied Zara for a long moment, then nodded. Very well, we help your pack, but first we keep you alive and train you. Deal? Deal. Good, then let's begin. Dr. Cross picked up the tuning fork again. Lesson 1, hearing the frequencies. You've been doing it unconsciously your whole life. Now we make it conscious. Listen. She struck the fork, and the note rang out. But this time Zara didn't just hear it. She felt it. In her bones, in her blood, in the very core of who she was. And she heard so much more. The hum of the city below, the heartbeat of the vampire across from her, the wild magic of the Fae girl, the ancient power of the witch, and underneath it all, a vast symphony of supernatural frequencies she'd never noticed before. Atlanta wasn't just a city. It was a crossroads, humming with 1,000 different supernatural presences. Oh my God, Zara whispered. They're everywhere. Yes, Dr. Cross said, and now that you can hear them, they can hear you. Which is why Lesson 2 is learning to control what you broadcast. But that's for tomorrow. For tonight, you need rest. I don't think I can sleep after all this. Then we'll keep watch, Kieran said. The Syndicate won't attack tonight. They'll scout first, plan. We have a small window. Sage hopped down from the chair with inhuman grace. Besides, your apartment has excellent security now. Nothing hostile is getting through our wards. Zara wanted to argue, to demand more answers, to understand everything at once. But exhaustion was finally catching up with her. Between the ceremony, the rejection, the drive, and now this revelation, she was running on fumes. Fine, she said, but we start training first thing tomorrow. I want to know everything. Everything might take longer than you think, Dr. Cross said with a slight smile. But we'll do our best. Get some rest, Zara. You're going to need it. Zara didn't think she'd be able to sleep, but the moment her head hit the pillow, she was out. Her dreams were strange, Music that had colors, frequencies that tasted like emotions, a vast web of connections spanning the city, the country, the world, and at the center of it all, a void. A silence where something should be but wasn't. She reached toward it in her dream, and the void reached back. Zara woke with a gasp, her hands glowing bright blue in the darkness of her bedroom. From the living room, she heard Dr. Cross's calm voice. "It's all right. That's normal. Your gift is awakening fully. Just breathe through it." Zara focused on her breathing, watching as the glow slowly faded. This was her life now. Glowing hands, supernatural politics, people hunting her for what she was. She should be terrified. But instead, she felt something else. Purpose. For the first time since her failed shift, Zara felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. The next morning came too early. Zara stumbled into her kitchen to find Dr. Cross making breakfast like she'd lived there for years. "Coffee?" the older woman offered. "God, yes." Zara accepted the mug gratefully. "Where are the others?" "Kieran can't handle sunlight, so he's resting in your guest room. I hope you don't mind." Sage went to check the perimeter. She'll be back soon. Zara sipped her coffee, processing the fact that there was a vampire sleeping in her apartment. This is so weird. You'll get used to it. "Will I?" Dr. Cross gave her a knowing look. "You built a successful business from nothing after being rejected by your own people. You're resilient, Zara. This is just another challenge." "A challenge that might get me killed. Most worthwhile things carry that risk." Before Zara could respond, her phone buzzed. Tiana's name flashed on the screen. "Hey, T," Zara answered, trying to sound normal. "Z, oh, thank God. I've been calling since yesterday. Are you okay? How was the thing with your family?" Zara glanced at Dr. Cross, who nodded slightly. "It was complicated. I'm back in Atlanta now. Want to talk about it? I can come over with coffee and pastries." "Actually, I have some things to handle today. Rain check?" "Sure. But Z, you sound weird. Are you sure you're okay?" Zara looked at her hands, remembering the blue glow. Thought about the vampire in her guest room and the fey girl outside. Considered the fact that people were hunting her. "I'm figuring some things out," she said honestly. "But I promise, I'm okay. I'll call you later?" "You better. Love you, girl." "Love you too." Zara ended the call and set down her phone. "How long before I can tell her the truth?" "That depends on you," Dr. Cross said. "Some conductors tell their human friends everything. Others keep it separate. There's no right answer. But there are wrong ones, ones that get people hurt." "Yes." The weight of that settled on Zara's shoulders. Every choice she made now could have consequences for people she cared about. Sage materialized in the living room, appearing so suddenly that Zara jumped. "Perimeter's clear. No Syndicate scouts yet. But I found something interesting." "What?" Dr. Cross asked sharply. "Wolfpack scouts. 3 of them, watching the building from the coffee shop across the street." Zara's heart stuttered. "My pack?" "Crescent Moon Pack, yes. They're not being subtle about it either." Dr. Cross frowned. "That's unusual. Alpha Stone rejected the bond. He has no claim on her." "Maybe it's not about the bond." Kieran's voice came from the hallway. He emerged looking remarkably put together for someone who'd been sleeping in a guest room. "Maybe it's about the attacks. Pack loses 12 members. Their potential Luna turns out to be something rare and powerful. Suddenly she's a valuable asset regardless of the rejection." "They can't have it both ways," Zara said, anger flaring. "Marcus made his choice. I'm not going back there." "You might not have a choice," Sage said grimly. "Pack law is complicated. Technically, since you were born into Crescent Moon Pack, you're still Pack until you formally transfer or go rogue. I've been gone 5 years. Absence isn't the same as formal separation, Dr. Cross explained, and with the mate bond, even though it was rejected, there's still a connection. A severed bond leaves traces. Zara set down her coffee mug with more force than necessary. So what, Marcus can just decide he wants me back whenever it's convenient? No, Kieran said firmly. You're not Pack property, but he can request a meeting, and refusing might trigger Pack politics you're not ready to handle. Then I won't refuse. Zara straightened her shoulders. I'll meet with him, on my terms, my territory, and I'll make it very clear that I'm not interested in being his convenient solution to a crisis. Dr. Cross smiled approvingly. Good. Control the narrative, but be careful. Alphas don't like being challenged, especially newly appointed ones. He's going to be on edge. So am I. The difference is, you have us backing you, Sage said with a sharp grin. Try anything funny, and he'll learn why you don't mess with someone under Fae protection. Despite everything, Zara felt a warmth in her chest. These people, these supernatural beings she'd just met, were already treating her like she mattered, like she was worth protecting. It was more than her own pack had done. All right, she said, let's set up this meeting. But first, I need more training. If I'm going to face Marcus, I want to be able to control whatever this is. She held up her hands. Smart, Dr. Cross approved. Kieran, arrange the meeting for tomorrow evening. That gives us today to work on shielding and basic control. Sage, I need you to reinforce the wards and set up a neutral meeting space. On it, both of them said. Dr. Cross turned to Zara. And you, my dear, are about to learn what it really means to be a conductor. Fair warning, it's not going to be comfortable. Nothing worth doing ever is, Zara replied. Spoken like someone who's going to do just fine. Dr. Cross gestured toward the living room. Come, let's begin. The training was brutal. Not physically. Dr. Cross never touched her. But mentally, spiritually, it was like having every sense turned up to maximum volume and then being asked to sort through the noise. Feel the frequencies, Dr. Cross instructed. Don't just hear them, feel them. They're as much a part of you as your heartbeat. Zara closed her eyes, trying to focus. The world exploded into sensation. She felt Kieran's cold, precise vampire frequency, like wind chimes made of ice, Sage's wild, untamed Fae energy, like a forest fire set to music, Dr. Cross's deep, ancient witch power, like the earth itself humming. And beyond them, the city, thousands of supernatural beings, each with their own frequency. Werewolves prowling through parks, witches casting spells in hidden shops, Fae dancing in abandoned buildings, vampires hunting in the shadows. It was overwhelming, beautiful, and terrifying all at once. Too much, Zara gasped. It's too much. Then shield, Dr. Cross commanded. Imagine a wall, a filter. Let through only what you need. Zara tried, but it was like trying to stop a flood with her hands. The frequencies kept coming, kept pressing in, demanding to be heard. Her hands started glowing again, brighter this time. The light pulsed in rhythm with the frequency she was feeling. Focus! Dr. Cross's voice cut through the chaos. You're not trying to stop the music. You're trying to conduct it. Choose what plays and how loud. Choose. That word anchored her. This wasn't about blocking out the world. It was about deciding what she let in. Zara imagined herself at a mixing board, like in her studio. All these frequencies were just tracks. She could adjust the levels, decide what to hear and when. Slowly, carefully, she started turning down the volume on the distant frequencies. The thousands of supernatural beings in Atlanta faded to background noise. Then She adjusted Kieran, Sage, and Dr. Cross's frequencies to comfortable levels. The overwhelming flood became manageable, controlled. The glow in her hand softened to a gentle shimmer, then faded entirely. Zara opened her eyes, breathing hard. Holy shit. Excellent, Dr. Cross said with genuine pride. Most conductors take weeks to learn that. You did it in hours. It still feels like sensory overload. It will for a while. Your brain is learning to process information it never had before. But it gets easier. Eventually, it'll be as natural as hearing. Zara flexed her hands, marveling at how normal they looked. What else can I do? That depends on you, Dr. Cross said. Every conductor is different. Some can heal by harmonizing someone's frequency. Some can sense lies. Some can temporarily share abilities between supernatural species. Your gift will reveal itself as you practice. Can I fight? If the Syndicate comes for me, can I defend myself? Kieran spoke up from where he'd been observing. Conductors aren't fighters in the traditional sense, but you can disrupt frequencies, make it impossible for someone to use their powers. You could theoretically incapacitate an entire room of supernatural beings if you played the right song. The way he said it made it sound more dangerous than any weapon. Show me, Zara said. Dr. Cross shook her head. Not yet. You're barely shielding. Offensive techniques require much more control. If you try to disrupt frequencies now, you might disrupt your own by accident. How long until I'm ready? For basic defense? A week? Maybe 2? For anything more advanced? Months? Years? For some techniques? Frustration burned in Zara's chest. I don't have years. The Syndicate is coming now. Which is why you have us, Sage reminded her. We're not just teachers, Zara. We're your guard until you can protect yourself. I don't want to need protection. None of us do, Kieran said quietly. But strength isn't about never needing help. It's about knowing when to accept it. Zara wanted to argue, but she was too tired. The training had drained her more than she'd realized. Rest, Dr. Cross ordered, seeing her exhaustion. You've done enough for today. Tomorrow, after you meet with Alpha Stone, we'll continue. What if he tries something? What if he tries to force me back to the pack? Then he'll learn why that's a very bad idea, Sage said with a dangerous smile. You're under our protection now. That means something in the supernatural world. Zara nodded, too tired to say more. She headed to her bedroom, her mind spinning with everything she'd learned. As she lay down, she felt the frequencies again, softer now, under her control, the city's supernatural heartbeat, her new allies in the living room, and far away, back in North Carolina, a familiar presence. Marcus. Even across the distance, even through the rejected bond, she could still feel him. His frequency was like rolling thunder, powerful, commanding, impossible to ignore. And it was calling to her, whether he knew it or not. Zara closed her eyes and tried to sleep. Tomorrow she'd face him. She'd make it clear that she wasn't his to claim or reject on a whim. She was her own person now. And she had the power to prove it. To be continued. What did you think of episode 2? Zara's training begins and she's about to face Marcus again, but this time on her own terms. Episode 3, the meeting coming soon. Will Marcus try to win her back? Or is there more to his visit than meets the eye? Copyright Frequency of Power series. All rights reserved.